And we're back for some spooky month. It's October now, right? So a little bit of pre-Halloween hijinks with some Call of Cthulhu, which is one of my all-time favorite games. It is a very straightforward, streamlined system. And we have a player who is new to Call of Cthulhu. So we'll be doing a little bit of additional kind of rules review. I think it's been a bit since we've done that on one of these Call of Cthulhu games, so it'll be good for everyone. So yeah, let us first, however, introduce players and characters. Let's start with you, Shanks. Who are you and who is Maurice?
Hello, I'm the Shanks Master General. You can find me on Twitch occasionally if I feel like playing Celeste mostly. But and you can find my band The Dreadnoughts on Spotify. But I'm playing Maurice Church, who is a Quaker who dies nearly every single game he plays in a one shot that is almost completely disastrous, and I inevitably have to be saved by somebody. But it's always very dramatic as a result. Uh, it's very fun, and I'm going to send you downward to Villain. Go, Villain.
Hello, I'm Villain, or Your Only Villain. I am playing John Doe. Uh, John Doe. Um, so John just kind of bounces from city to city. He's just kind of a wanderer. He's kind of teamed up with Maurice for kind of recently, kind of been his sidekick for the most part. Kind of been following him around. So we'll see what type of adventures Maurice gets John into. Go over to Govan.
Hello, I am Govan. I am playing Gerard Chamberlain. I am a stage musician, and I happen to be in town for a few shows. But I figured, come test out the waters here in this great little town. See if you're up to SJ.
I'm SJ or SJ underscore sidekick. I will be playing Lola Barlow. She's a film star. Has good success, but recently some things have happened to where she's had to travel back home. Don't know this crew at all.
Yes. So,
Yes,
go ahead.
it's an easy connection for Lola and Jerry. They work in the entertainment industry, but what the heck?
I mean,
Let's calm down. It's very different.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was on Broadway. That's a different kind of stage. Let's relax.
Oh, you've been in talkies, I think. Talkies are a thing.
Yes, but I started on as a chorus girl on Broadway.
Yeah. So, yeah, Lola is one of many starlets who have found fame and fortune. But, there was a situation back in Hollywood, or Hollywood, as they said at the time.
Hollywoodland.
Right. And you had to come back to not quite your exact hometown, but you're a local girl, or at least you were before you became Lola Barlow, pinup girl. Yeah, and Jerry, I think I don't know. Do you work a circuit through New England? And so maybe you've been here before?
Yeah, I actually go up and down the East Coast. So, start up in Maine and go all the way down to southern Florida, during the winter time. So I, not freeze because I don't like the cold.
Okay. So we'll say that you have been in Arkham before. That will help me calibrate if you need to know questions. If you have questions about would I know this, I'll be able to calibrate whether that's something that you might know or whether it's worth a roll or a bonus or penalty die, which we'll get into in a second. And Shanks and Maurice and John currently work together at the garage for the taxi company here in town.
But we can do odd jobs and stuff. We can do some simple stagecraft or whatever available for the film house.
I was gonna say, I think the last thing we did was fix a boiler. I think it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
last thing me and Maurice did.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually,
sort of.
Sean fixed that boiler. That was actually a very big point.
So yeah, that
Learned
was
it all from Maurice, though.
right. So there's a couple of places that we could start. We could start with command performance by Jerry in one of the local theaters. Arkham is a town, right? It's not a village, but it's also not quite a city. It does have a university, which kind of helps to bring a little bit more culture than one would expect for a town its size. But it's certainly not New York. It's not Hollywood. It's so you might find it's I would say for Jerry it's your typical venue. And I can imagine Maurice and John knocking off work. Definitely not going to the speakeasy for bathtub gin beforehand. I mean, certainly not for Maurice. I don't know about John. So would Lola go to that, though, is the question.
Guess it just depends what the other options are.
Well, the other options are probably to get home. Well, the other option would be going like and visiting your parents. Right. We'll say for reasons maybe Lola isn't staying with her family and has rented a little pied-à-terre here in Arkham. And maybe this is a cue. Maybe the first couple of days Lola was in town, she put on the big sunglasses and the big hat and wrapped up in a scarf, and mostly what you got was like, "Oh, did you catch a chill, dear?" And then you kind of started like dramatically whipping the sunglasses off, and then people would just kind of go, "Oh, okay, I guess not." Have a good day. So it could be, if you decide that it is in Lola's character, that she has decided to crash this silly local magician's performance to show that everyone what a star is, and maybe hope to be recognized.
Sure, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. So we begin mid-performance. It is a Friday night. Jerry, I think you've probably been in town a few days. You've done a couple of daytime matinees for, I don't know, folks that don't have jobs during the day, which is the 1920s. So it's, wives and some children and a lot of older people. So maybe not the best, but this is prime time for you. The gentle and the good of Arkham are in attendance, by which I mean people are, dressed reasonably nice. It's a fairly mixed crowd. There are, I think probably as you are peeking through the slightly moth-eaten red velvet curtains, kind of getting a sense of the crowd and maybe doing a little bit of mental math based on your take of the ticket price, like how much this is gonna net you. I think, why don't you spot hidden for me? So what you're going to do is you're going to look in your skills that are helpfully alphabetized for spot hidden. You will see a percentage. All you need to do is roll your percentile dice. The tens counts for the tens digit, the one counts for the ones digit, and you're hoping to hit that number or get below it.
I got a 17
Ooh, out of
my I have to get under 50.
Okay, so if you look on your character sheet, you will see there's the main number, which is 50, and then you'll see 25 and 12.
Yeah.
So what those numbers mean is if you roll under 50, or 50 or under rather, it's a regular success. If you roll 25 or under, it's a hard success. And if you roll 12 or under, it's an extreme success. Often when you get hard and extreme successes, something beneficial happens depending upon the situation and the type of skill that you're using. In combat, it can do things like add some extra damage or whatever, depending upon the type of weapon you're doing. It's usually a very good thing to get a hard success. Now, do you see the top of your character sheet where you see luck points?
I do. I see.
So,
luck, but I don't see luck points.
so your luck score is your luck points.
Okay.
So what you can do, unlike your other attributes like your strength and things like that, you can actually spend luck. Sometimes I may say roll luck, so you're just going to roll against whatever number, but you can actually spend luck. So if, for example, you wanted to notice even more or something that's important and might advantage you or be interesting, you could say, I'd like to spend 5 points of luck to turn that from a 17 into a 12, which would mean it's now an extreme success, which is just about as good as you can get. Natural 1, a 001, is always a critical success. Crazy awesome stuff happens. 100, a 000, is terrifyingly bad. And then there's a little bit of nuance depending upon what your score is. So what you want to do is roll it up and then say, oh, that's a 17 under 50, so that's a hard success. Or you could just say, I got a hard success, because that's all I really need to know. But it's helpful, especially if you're new, if you give me the number 2, because then I can say, well, actually, if you want to spend 5 points of luck to turn that into an extreme success, you might notice something that's important. I mean, you're going to do good anyway. So it's your choice. But if you spend the points, if I call for a luck roll, you have to deduct them from that score, which means you're maybe less likely to succeed. I don't know what your starting luck is. If it's like 20, I wouldn't spend it. But if it's like 70, 5 points of luck, why not?
I'm going to hold off for now. But
Okay.
Sorry, 45.
Okay, with this extreme success, with a hard success, you notice 2 things. One, there is a reasonably large crowd, maybe 8, of students from Miskatonic University. I think based on prior experience, this maybe sets your teeth on edge. They are, early adolescents. They are apt to be a little disruptive, like that time when you pulled the rabbit out of the hat, and it kind of got away from you and then you kind of had to chase it around stage. It's that type of person that was just laughing and guffawing and making everything worse. So maybe there's a little bit of a judgment there. And I'm going to say that you notice a beautiful young woman, kind of sitting directly under one of the, what calls your attention to her, aside from the fact that she's beautiful, is that she has an expression like she's trying not to be noticed, but she's sitting directly underneath one of the house lights. So, and now I would like you to give me, I think just general knowledge. So you're just going to roll, if you look at intelligence, it has a no next to it. That just means that we're just going to see how much you know. So just go ahead and roll that up and see whether you are able to recognize this person. Sorry, education. So you're just going to roll your education and see what happens.
Let's see. I got a 47 or a general success.
Or a regular success?
Mm-hmm.
I think you might not be able to bring, because there's a lot of actresses like this. So I'm going to say with a regular success, you may not know the name for sure. You certainly don't know any of the juicy gossip, but you're fairly certain that you've seen that beautiful young woman in a movie. Maybe she has an agent in Hollywood who can, maybe she can put in a good word for you. Get you out of the Adirondacks to Alligator Circuit.
That would definitely be a good thing because
Cool.
Little League is a little much nowadays.
The stage manager, who you are half convinced was dropped on his head as a child because he seems to be remarkably ineffectual, kind of is looking for you, and you're like right there, but he doesn't see you, so he kind of like stumbles into you and then drops a stack of papers, and there's a clattering sound. You hear a little bit of a shushing sound from the audience, as you can tell people are like, what was that sound? Is this show has started? Maybe also putting you off a bit. Oh, it's almost time. Do you have everything you need?
I think so.
All right, Mr. Merlin. Break a leg. That's what they say, isn't it?
Some do.
Cool. So, the curtain parts. We see the fancy Mr. Merlin, Jerry to his friends. How does he look? What does the audience see?
Excuse me. He is wearing he has a nice black suit. He doesn't wear a tie, but he has a fancy little shirt underneath, and it has like the little flaps like you see of like the conductors in orchestras onto the back of
Like a
his jacket.
tailcoat?
Yep. And he just, has a very well kept mustache, and is has enough pomade in his hair to put some local stores out of business.
So Brill cream for days. Lovely. So I think. Go ahead.
Is his mustache like a curly one, or is it like a nice big thick one like Justice? Is it like a Mario mustache? I mean, I need a little bit more detail on this mustache.
It's
Think of
more
his
just like
Adams.
it's I don't know how to explain this. It's decently across his lips, but it's very thick, but also not very deep.
Yeah, it's not
So
bushy.
you can tell there's a lot of hair.
Okay.
It's the wrong time period, but it's kind of like a Cary Grant with a mustache.
Okay.
And the amazing Merlin is quite dashing. I think as you begin your opening patter about revealing the mysteries of the universe and your time in a Tibetan monastery learning the magic of the whatever ancient spirits, whatever, you change it up depending upon where you are in the world, and it kind of evolves. But just the mystic mojo that you put into your patter, you probably notice that there are a number of repeat attendees who have maybe brought along their husband now that it's an evening performance. And as you're probably used to, you catch a little bit of the dewy eyes and the blush of maybe 3 or 4 of these audience members, because Gerard Chamberlain, elsewise known as the Amazing Merlin, is a very dashing figure. So, what is the big trick that the Amazing Merlin does? Maybe not the closer, but the one that you really used to kind of punctuate the performance and start to get those oohs and ahs building in the audience.
So I really enjoy picking someone from the audience and then sawing them in half.
Oh, ambitious. All right. Well, who do you pick?
I think I might pick the young lady in the spotlight because I may want to get more closely with her, so maybe we can chit chat later.
Well, Lola, it appears that the spirits that the amazing Merlin draws upon to effect his remarkable prestidigitation have guided him to you to be his beautiful assistant for this next big trick. What happens?
Oh, I don't. I mean, I'm not surprised. Whether it's the spirits saying it, I mean, they can recognize talent, or whether he just recognizes me, also not surprising, you know. But she'll make a little bit of a show of it, like, oh, I shouldn't. Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right.
A little old grandmother with like one of those little crocheted purses kind of taps you in the leg with the purse. Go ahead, dear. This'll be fun. Don't be afraid. He's not really going to saw you in half.
Okay, better not. All right, she will head up stage, strutting her stuff.
Beautiful. Hey, would you give me a roll of some sort? I think it doesn't matter so much which, as long as it's narratively appropriate. But I would like to get a sense of Lola's command of a room. So it could be something as simple as dexterity, just to see how elegantly she flows. It could be acting, perhaps. You decide. But pick something that makes sense and roll it. And let's see how the impression that the audience takes away from the amazing Merlin's beautiful assistant.
38.
Which is what?
You said, where is? I don't know what I'm going for. Where's my stuff? Oh, it's up here. Okay. Out of 60, so it's just a regular success.
And were you rolling dexterity?
Yes.
Okay, I think people appreciate that.
What were the other options besides
Oh,
dexterity?
it could be acting, right? Because it's about, putting on a show.
Yeah, it would have been the same.
Yeah.
Psychology.
That's more about getting impression of people.
Okay.
And persuade usually requires like talking. So I think dexterity works. Dexterity or acting makes sense to me. Okay, cool.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. So it's a little bit. It's not a grand thing, and it's a little bit crowded, which I'm sure Jerry appreciates. So it's maybe not. It's certainly not you gliding down a red carpet to accept an award style situation, but you're reasonably graceful enough that you earn a couple of wolf whistles from the college crew kind of towards the back. Now, this obviously draws the attention of Maurice and John. Now, Maurice, I'm going to say as a Quaker, you probably don't frequent the cinema that much, but tell me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. I think I would watch the cinema quite a bit. I do like all these recent events probably got me into more kind of quote into film and whatnot, just to reduce the stress of the unknowable.
Oh,
like,
so
here,
so not a bunch of creature features is what you're saying.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Magic's right up my alley because it's just like, oh, this is I know this isn't real.
Okay, yes. So why don't both of you roll to see if you recognize Lola? Just make
Just
it
a spot hidden or
no.
education.
Make it a no roll. So just roll education.
Okay, well, my education is 50% or 50, so let's see. Oh, 37. So
Regular success.
Success.
I think it's the same thing. You're like, I think she's famous. I think I've seen her.
Yeah, she was the one with that really smart dancing chimp.
Can't
Yeah,
have.
I think
That was a great movie.
Yeah,
That was great.
what was the name of that one?
My Dancing Chimp.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
Wow. What a great show! He hasn't even done anything yet.
That chimp
I
was
honestly
amazing.
like the chimp. I personally like to think. I think I like the chimp a little bit better than her, though. I think
Wow.
acting was a little bit better, but you know,
The chimp was on his A game. That's for sure.
absolutely.
So as Lola glides toward the stage, you hear a couple of local yokels. Yeah. Dang that bonzo. He's gotten twice the press you have. and the studio renewed his contract. So he's the bane of your existence. So maybe maybe that colors your ascent to the stage. So Jerry, you're going to saw the beautiful woman in half. What do we think? Do you have a skill that's particular? I can't remember. It's been a while. Do you have a skill that's particular to the performance of magic? It would probably be under the art and craft.
I think we went over that before stream. Stage magic. I think is you have
Yes.
an 85 in it.
There you go.
Oh,
So
Oh,
you're
good.
very, very good at stage magic.
I don't have anything that's 85.
Well, yeah, it's the kind of thing that I mean, anyone can try anything, but most specialized skills start at 1. So cool. So I'm going to need you to roll your stage magic. And we'll see how wonderful. There's a good chance this is going to be awesome. But before you pick those dice up, I also would like you to make a power roll.
Uh-oh.
So is that the same dice?
It's you're going to roll against your power, which is just below your size in the second column under characteristics. But I'm going to need you to roll that before you attempt your stage magic, because reasons.
That is a extreme success.
Ooh. Interesting. So
I'm not trying to get sawed in half, so
I think this has happened a few times where, you've done the pattern, you're about to do the thing, and you got the hidden lever, and you went beforehand and dusted off all the mirrors and all that kind of stuff. But there's just this moment, maybe it's only happened a couple of times, where you just get swept away in the various kind of incantations that you have, and all the flourishing of the like the weird kind of saw that you had made, and like it feels more than just a performance to you. It's those moments where you feel most on, and that you dream about. So you start to enter that moment. So yeah, go ahead and do that stage magic and add a bonus die. And I'll tell you what that is in a second. Roll it up first.
Is it? Yeah. That was a 33, and so that means that would be also an extreme success.
Beautiful. You probably won't need the bonus die, but what that means is you can re-roll the tens die and take whichever is lower.
Okay.
So you could get a 23.
Get a 1.
Could get a 1.
Get a 1.
I got a 0.
Oh, a
Do a
0, 3. Would you like to spend 3 little points of luck? Or, sorry, 2 little points of luck to make that a crit?
Do it. Do it.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Beautiful. So reduce your luck score. So reduce your
45,
current
so I go down to-
from whatever it is down to the thing. Excellent. So you got an extreme success on your power, and you just crit because of that success with power on the trick. Cool. Hey, go ahead.
Good start, Govan. Oh, I was just gonna say,
No,
good start, Govan.
It's a really, really good start. I think, Lola, you probably also, just even without a roll, feel a little electricity in the air. And now that you're up against Jerry and you can smell his scented Brill cream, he's a striking fellow and really does seem to own the stage in a way that you maybe wouldn't have expected someone in this little hick town to do. So maybe there's a little bit of appreciation there. He whisks you off your feet on the table, covers you with the box, and begins to saw. And the audience is with you. They are like with bated breath. You hear a few people in the audience cry out as they can see that the saw is passing through the area where Lola's torso should be. John and Maurice, would one of you like to give me, or maybe both of you, a spot hidden?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think John's better than mine, but I'm going to have a go. 40.
That is a extreme success.
Okay.
I got 25 under 40.
So regular
9 under
success.
60.
Regular success, yeah.
Cool. So we got our extreme success. So, Maurice, you notice all of this, obviously, and you're somewhat swept up in it, right, as a member of the audience. But you notice that you're experiencing almost like tunnel vision, or someone is doing something very artful with the lights. And you've been to performances here, you know it's basically on and off, you know. But there's a visual effect that kind of puts what's happening on stage even more in the spotlight, and it's almost like the space that you're in just kind of becomes vague and shadowy, so that the only thing that your mind can lock onto is this very crisp, crystalline image of this masterful magician sawing this mysterious starlet in half. John, you notice that, but for you, the area surrounding you is a little bit clearer. You are not in the little theater. The seats are different. The audience, although there is a vagueness to them, you can see, like when you try to glance away from the stage or just out of your peripheral vision, you're noticing top hats, gloves, sparkly dresses, white tie. You're getting the impression that this is a very fancy setting. Can John and Maurice give me a sanity check, please?
Oh, awesome.
Oh, hey,
What is
fun.
My sanity since the last episode was 45.
I succeeded.
I succeeded with a 43.
Okay,
Very close.
cool.
Succeeded with a 4.
Oh,
Ooh.
cool. Yeah, nothing really bad. It's unsettling. I think it's weird. I think you both appreciate something odd is happening.
I do start tearing up just because it's such a great performance, like a tear.
I was gonna say, I think with the vision of the top hats and the sparkly dresses and not being in the same position that he was in, I think John sort of kind of has a slight panic attack and kind of grabs Maurice like on the arm. Just kind of one of those like we've been in a certain situation before and I don't like the situation, and he kind of wants to like grab Maurice and run, but doesn't.
You all right, bud? What's going on?
And where did John get those fancy gloves?
What, is he wearing the gloves now? Oh my.
He somehow went and changed into a tuxedo.
John, where'd you get this getup?
I would say this is probably the first time John actually looks down and sees the tuxedo and kind of has a little bit more of a panic attack because it's obviously not what he came in with.
Is this part of the show?
And he's just gonna kind of look at Maurice, just kind of dumbfounded and just not have anything to really to say. He's just gonna kind of be speechless and not be able to. Just kind of one of those. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Where did?
So, with a flourish, the amazing Merlin separates the two halves of the now sawn and twain table. The little toes of Lola Barlow wiggling on the end to show that although her top and bottom half are now separated by several feet of thin air, she is still alive. You draw her back together, raise up a sheet, say the gobbledygook incantation, drop it, and then lift Lola up. To thunderous applause. I think, Jerry, you now, because you've been very focused on what you're doing, plus you're standing in a spotlight, so your vision of the audience is relatively limited, and you've been caught up in the moment. I think without a roll, the sound of the applause is wrong. It's the sound of thousands of people. Now, you could give me a listen or even maybe a psychology to learn more.
Well, it's probably smarter for me to use listen because my psychology is not the best.
But see, that's the thing, though. If you fail, that's a chance to improve it. So it's a system that rewards trying things that are not the thing that you're best at. Do what you want.
it.
Do what you want.
I'll do it just because, you know. We'll see.
Makes for a fun story.
I missed it by one.
You got
Oh,
luck.
Spend one, succeed.
Yeah, let's do that to bring my 11 down to a 10.
Ooh, fantastic. And that was on listen? Or is that psychology?
That was on psychology.
All right. Well, you were just kind of feeling at one with the audience, like really feeling that vibe. So it makes sense that you would be sensitive to the fact when that vibe turns. The audience is enthusiastically cheering this performance, a bit too enthusiastically. There is a hunger.
I feel like I would also notice that after I performed, the entire crowd changed. So
you're starting. Yeah, this is what's starting to have you pay attention to the visual. I mean, for you, it's kind of a sea of things, which may become clearer in a moment. But you, with that sensitivity to the mood of the audience, it sounds more like a prize fight you once went to in Boston, when one of the boxers had landed a really incredible, damaging blow, and the opponent went down to one knee and was struggling to get back into the fight. It's the sound of a cry. It's the sound of a crowd calling out for blood. Lola, your experience may be a little bit different because you hear in that cheering your name. They must have recognized you. Maybe all the people here in Arkham have been pretending not to recognize you all along, but clearly a lot of them must have shown up here in the theater. Maybe they heard that when you were dropping hints at the market when you were picking up your milk, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll go to the theater later if anyone wants to see me. maybe word got around in town and all your fans have come out of the woodwork. Because it does seem like a good portion of the town is here to see you in this impromptu, but shall we say dazzling performance as a maiden in distress. So what happens? That's where you're at in this moment.
John's-
Go ahead.
Let's say John's gonna look at Maurice and be like, I don't think we're in the same town, Maurice.
Something's definitely happened. Like he didn't even point out the suit you're in. I thought that was part of the show, but they always have to point out the big, what is it? The big reveal of like, oh, and this guy's wearing a suit for some reason. Huzzah!
Yeah.
That never happened. Like
I'm gonna assume that the big magic trick of being sawed in half is over, right? At this point.
Yeah,
Okay.
right now, the amazing Merlin and this, you can't quite place her name, but clearly someone famous are standing among this thunderous applause.
tip of my tongue. What's her name?
Is the theater bigger than what it was? Or is it the same size? Is it
It's hard to tell because you can't really see the walls. So it just kind of fades out, and not like fades into darkness, but it just becomes kind of dim and blurry.
Is Maurice in a suit at this point?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, how'd this get on me?
Oh, that looks nice on you though, Maurice.
Well, yeah, but I wear a suit great, but you know, that's beside the point.
So,
I clean up real nice.
Go ahead, Govan.
let's say, I feel like that I would start feeling uneasy because I would feel like something isn't right
Yeah.
and out of my control completely, but
Yeah.
people are looking at me like I did it, and I'm just like, thank you. I just like go along with it, but also like kind of lean over to the young lady on stage, which I should have introduced to the crowd who she was. Be like, did you notice any changes in the audience? Like whisper over to her while they're still cheering, because
Oh yes, they loved it. I mean, I'm sure a little bit of that is me, and I apologize for taking some of the spotlight away from you. But you were amazing. We have such good chemistry together.
yeah, that's not exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't even know how you sawed me in half. I mean, I was there. I was part of the trick. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's it's child's play for me. I've done it thousands of times, so I'm used to it.
You have
But
to tell me how you did it later.
yeah, we can definitely come back to that over cocktails later. But
Offering to buy me a
I
drink.
don't feel like
Horrible.
I don't feel like the spotlight is really on us anymore. Like I feel like something has happened, and like as a magician, usually I know like all the feelings, and I would understand. And
Oh,
this is not
is
normal
this part
stage
of it?
magic.
Okay, I'm like, oh yes, this is spooky things going on that we can't explain.
No, it's
There's
not the typ-
a chunk sound and a bit of a spark as all the extra lights on stage go out. It's now just this pin spot in the center of the stage, not even quite big enough to hold both of you. So you're standing close together and talking, so it's kind of like half of you, the half of you that is near each other is brightly lit, but the half of you that is faced outward towards the stage is in shadow. There is a dim illumination, seemingly coming from behind the audience, or the part of the audience that you can see before it fades into vagueness. And the cheering stops all at once. And you can see these figures rise almost as one and kind of lean forward. You can see them, the ones nearest you, gripping the front of the seats in front of them as they lean forward. And then as one, they begin to say, "Do it again. Do it again. Do it again." In maybe not an entirely friendly way.
Ooh,
Maurice
that's
and John, you
spooky.
were...
How should I be playing this? Should I be playing this like damsel in distress and scared?
That's
So
my motivation.
John's gonna pull out his lighter, like a Zippo, I would assume, some type of lighter. He's gonna light it, and he's gonna grab Maurice, and he's gonna run towards the back of the room.
All right,
Cool.
I'm willing to follow.
Just kind of a light source in front of me. It kind of, we need to get out of here. This is where I'm at, Maurice.
Cool. So a couple of things happen at once. Lola is saying, Jerry, am I supposed to play this? Or Merlin, right? How do I play this? The audience is beginning to build that chant. And then Lola and Jerry see kind of off to stage right a little spark, a very very clear, you weren't entirely, it hadn't quite hit you how vague the audience seemed until you saw something like very real, this spark of a lighter. And you can even the little cast off sparks of the flint are imprinted on your retina because it's so real. And in that flash, you see a couple of men dressed very nicely, but with very sort of maybe concerned looks on their faces. They clearly aren't part of this monolith of the crowd. You all also see, reflected in the light of the lighter, the faces of the nearby members of the audience. Can I get everyone to give me a sanity roll?
All right, what was that again? 45, right?
Succeed.
9.
Ooh.
Oh.
Regular success.
I think there's only regular successes for sanity rolls.
Well, it kind of
Yeah.
depends.
I thought I failed it, but my sanity's 70, so I'm good.
Okay.
You got to be tough in this business.
Yeah, that's
For
what she just doesn't realize what's
successes,
happening.
Just take one.
Who's taking one?
Everyone.
Everyone. All right.
It's a shame when
69.
everyone
Nice.
succeeds.
Cool.
Cool.
The
Yes.
insane, do I take it from 12 to 11?
No. It's not gonna matter. So, and you can't spend luck on sanity rolls. And you can't spend luck on. Okay. Just for clarity, you can't spend luck on luck rolls either because that would create a weird recursive thing. So, anyway,
No, like the number beside the sanity. Am I doing the insane? I take that from 12 to 11, or?
so what is your what is your total sanity?
60.
So you reduce it by 1. That number next to it is the threshold. So if you lose 12 or more sanity, or once you lose 12 sanity in one session, you become indefinitely insane. And that creates a permanent kind of condition that you work with. And that can be addressed through heavy doses of psychiatric medication and whatever passes for therapy in the 1920s. And by the way, if you take 5 or more sanity in one go, you have a bout of temporary insanity, which means that for a period of time you are acting different and in a way that's usually not great, like deciding to attack your allies or set the entire thing on fire or whatever.
Maurice has yet to go insane, but and that's quite rare, but it's come very, very close.
And you've seen
Never
people go gaga a couple of times.
Oh, Eloise has gone gaga like 4 times, it feels like.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she's busy with a little experiment in her basement at the moment.
Right.
So she's not here to witness this. So yeah, everyone takes a little bit of a hit of sanity. What you see is Lola. I think when you were a chorus girl, you had the experience of the kind of leering, hungry look that a certain type of man gives a chorus girl. It's like that, but only that. Like if you can, like it's difficult to describe because what you're seeing is less about an arrangement of physical features, and it's more like a drive made flesh. It is dehumanizing. It is privileged. It is seeking, hungry for entertainment of the basest sort. So
instead of going back to my seat, I think I'm just gonna head backstage. That's
okay.
So I was actually going to say, could I potentially, to get us off stage, because I also feel very uncomfortable, because, like, yes, I love, the attention, the cheers, and all that stuff, but once it turned into a blood-curdling request, I felt like I needed to leave, because I didn't feel comfortable if I didn't go through with the request. Can I use stage magic to throw something down on the ground and a puff of smoke and we disappear off the stage?
100%. Roll it up.
It is right on that. That is a extreme success.
Wow. Well, I mean, your score is incredibly high. So yes, I will say that you throw down one of the smoke bombs. It's a good one too, because it creates this bright flash, this big puff of smoke, which is sufficient to block both you and Lola from the sight of anyone in the audience. There's a thunderous, like that hungry, ugly chanting immediately switches to this gleeful, like loud applause and whistles and laughter. Would you both give me a dodge roll real quick, and then with a bonus die because you're obscured, and then I want to see what Maurice and John are doing.
okay. Let's get a 10 and a 5.
37. So that is to say general success for me.
Okay.
And you roll which one again?
The
For a bonus
tens,
die?
the tens, and for a bonus die, take the lower,
Probably won't get.
and then
Still pretty good. But
for Govan, there's also a penalty die, which is the same except that you take the higher, so it reduces your chance of success. But in this case, it's a bonus die.
What's the second one called? Not a regular success, but a
Hard success.
Hard.
hard success. Yeah, that one.
Okay, great.
Right on 15.
So, neither of you is struck by a volley of rose bouquets. You know how when at the end of a masterful aria, while the star soprano is standing on stage enjoying the adulations, the audience will have, I guess, magically known this was going to happen and have prepared little bouquets of flowers to toss on stage. It's like that, but they are whipping these things at you. I think maybe Lola, as you guys are kind of through the smoke, kind of moving towards backstage, you like dodge one of them, and then it kind of falls at your feet, and you just kind of go to kick it away, and it sort of squelches.
Yeah.
And this smell of rose and decay, like rose water with a splash of sewage in it, just kind of rises up. It smells thick, cloyingly sweet, and also of filth. And you can just see that as you look down at your feet, oh, what did I just kick? This rose bouquet is rapidly just wilting away and decaying into just this muck. But you don't get hit with anything, which is good, because the thorns on the roses do appear to be quite substantial. What are Maurice and John doing?
I believe John is carrying me away somewhere, and I'm following him.
Okay.
So,
Which way you headed?
So I would say that John was trying to be polite at first. Kind of one of those, like, you kind of like duck down kind of underneath people so that way they could still see the act type of walks when he has the lighter.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as like he sees the faces within the lighter, he realizes, oh, this has gone horribly wrong, and this is not a situation we want to be in. And he's going to instantly stand straight up and just kind of book it towards like the front of the theater, like towards like the lobby.
Okay.
And trying to make sure that Maurice is behind him.
I'm just following John's lead. At first, also polite, but then it's like, oh, okay, we're going now.
Cool. So as you you make your way into the aisle, and then begin to move at speed back towards the entrance. A few of the figures, it's like they're caught up in this moment. The faces are difficult to parse. Like, they read to your eyes as faces, but it's really hard to make them resolve into something recognizable. You get a very strong emotional read off of them, but like, look at one and then a second later say, was its nose large or small? What color were its eyes? Did it have eyes? It just doesn't stick in your head. But you both notice that those that, like, as you pick up speed, a few of those near your passage, like, all of that mask of emotion drops, and then they slowly watch you go. And then as soon as you're a few feet away, just zip back into this engagement with the show. It's a little unsettling. How long are you going to run down the aisle?
Until it stops making sense.
Because
Yeah,
you're 10 strides away from the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
You go 10 strides and 20 and 30.
I was gonna say, so with the way that John and his past has been, he is a clear, I'll deal with this later situation type of guy. So he's just gonna keep on running. He's just gonna keep on trucking along until Maurice tells him to either stop or slow down. He might throw some glances behind him to make sure Maurice is still there, but he's just gonna full on, I want out of this situation. I am not prepared for this. We're not prepared for this. We need to leave.
Maurice is more likely to stop walking when it becomes clear we're not getting any closer. And that, more notably, John's not getting any further away as he keeps trying. I'm guessing that's what's happening.
Well, no, you're getting further away. It's just that you're not getting any closer to the exit. The audience around you becomes more and more indistinct. First, you kind of lose that sense of that sense of kind of presence emanating from them sort of dies down until they kind of just become shadowy shapes. Like you can get a sense of movement, and you see like the shadow of some hands. The cheering noise, the jeering noise just kind of dies down and becomes a little bit echoey until you find yourself in this sort of endless row of fancy red velvet seats, with the area near you just kind of vaguely occupied by shadowy forms. And as you cast your eyes forward, it's just dim row upon row of seat. You're honestly not quite sure how far you've gone, because I think probably John went from brisk walk to jog to run.
A full-on sprint,
Yeah.
real quick.
So, and maybe Maurice, as you catch up with John, I mean, you've gone a good ways. You would be more than across the street if you were in a normal space.
So you said the figures on our sides of the aisleways have pretty much just gone to like nothing, correct?
Yeah, like if you didn't know what you were looking for, you would just think it would be a trick of light. Like occasionally you'll see one of them slowly move, as if like smoke in a still room, just barely adjusting to the passage of something. And you can hear behind you the echo of that louder cacophony, but you seem to be very far away. It's like you're 5 blocks from a stadium and someone just scored a goal. So you can kind of hear it echoing through the buildings, but it doesn't feel like it's feet away.
I think at that point, John's going to spin around and look at Maurice and then look at the stage to see exactly how far we've gone.
Cool. Give me another sanity roll.
That is a fail.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Give me a D10, please.
Oh my.
Okay. Just a 2.
So lucky. So Maurice, as you kind of catch up, and Maurice is in shape, but John is, as he said, he's a habitual runner.
Right.
So maybe got ahead of you a little bit there. So as you catch up, you see John whirl around and look at you and kind of look around and then look back towards the stage. And you just see the look on his face change from confusion and worry and kind of fight or flight into horror. Before we tell everyone what John sees, what does Maurice do when he sees John looking over your shoulder and that look of glazed?
I think the only thing that makes sense is if I turn around and look myself.
I mean, it's kind
One
of
of
what
those.
happens.
Yeah.
One of those slow turns. One of
Yeah.
those, oh no.
I am also going to roll sanity, I'm guessing.
Yes.
All right. 31, that's underneath 44.
Cool, give me a D4.
D4. I might still get more sanity. 3.
Cool. Yeah. It
It's
hits
more
you.
than his D10. Yeah.
It hits you a little bit harder.
There we go.
There is
4 total. 9's threshold.
the stage is like a bright little bowl, like a little diorama being held in the grip of a massive figure. It is made up of darkness and squelching fluid and non-Euclidean geometry. The audience, you can see below the level of the stage. They are connected to this creature. They are like little finger puppets in a dollhouse. And there's a faint luminance that kind of lights up this bowl, but is drifting. It's like there's still a little few wisps of the smoke bomb that Jerry dropped. So at first you think it's that, but there's something glowing that is flowing out in a stream into this massive sucker-like round maw. This creature is, I don't know, like 1,000 feet tall. I mean, it's hard to say. There's not really a frame of reference, but it seems enormous and utterly wrong.
So the way that I picture the monster, how you just explained it, was like the old style vampires that have like the big round mouths with all the teeth sticking inwards with the tongue sticking out. That's what I imagine.
A little
Kind
bit
of
like
how
that,
you
but twisted and made of weird gunk and just not entirely humanoid. I mean, you see a head kind of shaped thing and shoulder shaped thing, and these weird kind of amorphous arms holding this tableau. And whatever is down below dissolves into strange writhing darkness.
Oh, good. The darkness is writhing.
Yeah. Cool. So Lola and Jerry making a break for backstage, right?
Yeah, I just meant me go backstage. You didn't have to come off with me. They're asking for an encore. Why don't you saw one of those other people in half?
Something's not right. And I'm being blunt with her at this point. It's like, this doesn't feel right. I've done 5 shows since I came to this town, and it doesn't feel like the same stage. And
It's
I've never
certainly
had
different
anyone.
for me. It's been a while since I performed on a stage that small. Is it the cheap roses? Is that the problem?
It was more so the fact of when we kicked the roses, they wilted away.
Yeah,
It's
that's why I said
that
cheap.
the,
It even seemed like they pulled them straight out of manure.
Yes.
I,
So I think Jerry is a gentleman, and so you reach one of the doors to backstage. Hey, Jerry, would you give me a spot hidden?
that is a failure.
Cool. So
Be sure to check it off.
check it off. If it's luckable, you might want to luck it. Okay.
how bad is it? Is it in the high 90s?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
It's 50 and I rolled a 76.
Okay. The reason Villain is asking is that if your skill is below 50, your critical fail is a higher range. So 96 and above will actually be a critical fail. So that's the one risk of doing things that you're not great at, is that there is a slightly higher chance that you crit fail, which makes sense because if you're trying something kind of unskilled, there is a better chance that things will go catastrophically wrong. But this isn't catastrophically wrong in and of itself. You just failed to notice the thing. The consequences of failing to notice might be bad. You know what? I'm going to be kind. Would you give me a luck roll now? And Lola, I would like a spot hidden from you as well.
Just made it.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I will say that does not provide a bonus die.
I got a 77, and my spot hidden is somewhere 50. Yeah, I failed it.
Okay, so you also don't notice. Cool. Oh,
I'm excited for Lola to get through this whole thing without realizing there's a monster.
oh, I think Lola's gonna realize. Hey,
Oh,
Jerry,
good market.
would you like to take 4 points of damage for me?
I wouldn't like to, but I will.
Good news, it's not 5. And what is your total health?
Starting is 10.
Okay, cool. So it's not half your health. Close. So you're fiddling with the door, and neither of you perceive the stage manager. Jerry, however, very rapidly perceives the axe that the stage manager has just buried into you. So Lola, you're sitting here talking, and oh well, the roses and cheap, whatever, and then you just you hear it kind of sounds like chopping wood if wood were also like made of sponges full of fluid. So the kind of a whack splish sound. And you see Jerry just kind of stunned slam forward into the door and kind of look around as this I mean, the stage manager was never your favorite. He's undergone a bit of a transformation. He's maybe grown a couple of feet, maybe grown a couple of extra digits. He seems to be twisted now. His face frozen in a greedy leer. Hey, can both of y'all give me sanity checks now?
$15. I'm good. Question, does the blood get on me?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm pissed. Look, we're not even on stage anymore. I don't know why you're still doing this. I did not give you consent to ruin my clothing.
Just to be clear with you, Lola, not that, it should be pointed out, but apparently it needs to be. This isn't part of the show. Like, no.
You say through a sucking chest wound.
Holding the hatchet at bay.
Right. Not part of the show.
Is this like real blood, like pig's blood?
Taste it.
No.
Disgusting.
It isn't. It ain't Cairo syrup.
You said that when I turned around, I saw the end of like the smoke bomb, right?
Yeah, there's this hanging cloud of smoke as it rose up into what would be the rafters, but now it's just this open space. And at first you thought that little bit of illumination, that little very smoky tendril of faint brightness was part of that, but then you see that it extended up through that layer of cloud into the creature's sucking maw. Hey Lola, give me a knowledge, give me an education.
Okay, flat 30. Hold on, I gotta find my education though first.
Up at the top, below power and appearance.
Oh, it's one of the top ones.
Yeah.
Okay, 50. Not quite half though.
Okay.
Just a regular.
You have done enough stage work to know this is not fake blood. It could be pig's blood, but it's certainly not fake blood. And it appears to be pouring out of Jerry's back.
Need your help over here.
Yes, and
Oh my god.
the grotesque Frankenstein's monster-like stage manager is actively trying to get another swing. This time, probably Jerry won't be lucky and take it in a non-vital area.
Do I have this Derringer on me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pulling the gun away. If this is an act, you better stop right now, because I will. This is not a stage gun. And then if they're not stopping, I'm gonna fire it at the weird.
They were just like, just shoot him,
Like,
because he is very strong.
okay. Okay, a 10. Flat 10.
Cool, and you are.
Uh,
I'm going to say several paces away. You probably push back. So he doesn't have a chance really to lash out at you. So yeah.
That's a hard success. Not quite a. Well, actually, let me spend 2 luck points and I'll make it a critical success or whatever the
Extreme
other one
success?
is. Extreme success. Yeah.
I think that maxed out the damage.
Yeah. Max damage, maybe.
Oh. Well, I mean, the damage is only 1d6, so it'll just
It'll
be
be-
6.
It'll be 6.
Still
A
6.
lot of
It's
a
just
lot
a
of
25,
damage.
so.
Yeah. That's enough to kill a lot of average people. Oh yeah, and then roll your damage. Thanks for that.
Oh, okay. And
Because it's
Yeah,
because it's piercing. It's extreme, so piercing. Yeah. So what was the total?
What do you mean?
So you max the damage on the die, and then you roll your damage again on top of that because it's a piercing attack. So it's a
then 11.
So 11 total. Cool.
wow.
Okay, 6.
Yes. So what you tell me is Lola confident? Is Lola kind of shaking with the gun and not sure, or does Lola, has Lola done like firearms training and done a lot of stage stuff? Did
She
Lola
is
play
very
a gun
not sure
roll?
because she's still a little bit in denial about this being real or not.
Cool.
I mean, the fact that they didn't call her bluff or the fact that they are calling her bluff or whatever and saying, yeah, shoot him, then I'm like, okay, maybe this is serious. Because if I pull out a real gun, obviously they're going to be like, no, we were just kidding. So yeah, I'm going for the dude's face, and it's their fault if I just kill the stage actor.
Yeah. So maybe you're a little surprised when the gun goes off, right? Because you keep expecting that you'll wake up from this and it's all just part of the act. And the gun goes off a little bit, and you kind of the stage manager's head. It doesn't explode. It more like deflates and melts. Like there is a spray of disgusting ichor that also gets on you. But then he kind of stumbles back and away, and it starts like it is not even worried about the hatchet anymore, and is just kind of like groping into space because his face and eyes are gone. But very rapidly, he just rots in front of you. Good job. You just shot someone, so give me a sanity roll.
Oh,
That's
less
what you
good.
get
Okay,
for doing the
that's
right thing.
already a 70. Where did my other single die go, though? I mean, I failed it anyway because
Yeah,
I
just
got
a D4.
70 something.
Just a D4.
Okay.
Roll low.
Murder.
I did not roll low. I got a 4.
Oh,
Cool. Well, watch your thresholds, because this might be insanity by 1,000 cuts. So yeah, it's you probably have fired a gun before, or at least fired a fake gun before, but you certainly haven't ever shot anyone in the face. And as we've discussed, the reason you haven't been taking sanity loss or as much sanity loss is because you've convinced yourself that this is just some sort of elaborate stage act. But what you see before you is not a stage act. You shot someone or something. And I think that realization shakes you to your core, but does not cause a bout of temporary insanity. So good on you for that.
I imagine that was very loud, right?
Yes, you do hear the gunshot. I think you probably see. So the curtains are open.
Flesh.
Yeah, the curtains are open, but they don't retract all the way, so you can kind of see one of the wings, and you maybe faintly hear and can certainly see a little bit of commotion behind those curtains, and then the unmistakable sound of gunfire.
All right. I'm gonna go
Look
to
at
the back.
Maurice. Yeah, I was gonna say look at Maurice and more or less kind of give him the nod, like let's go.
Let's go. We're gonna go back and investigate what's happening back there.
Cool. Give me spot hiddens as you run.
Oh, good. I'm great at that. Nope. Where was I? I think I said it was 40. I think.
Extreme success.
Beautiful.
Yeah, 40. That is a failure.
Okay, well, tick the box. So Maurice is just busy trucking along. John, you're maybe a little bit more alert to danger, just given your nature. You see like you've seen a python eat a mouse before. You know, it's got a bulge in it. That tendril of illumination that the creature is feeding on is a little snaky, and you see a bulge work its way up that snake shortly following the gunshot. And then it reaches the creature's mouth, and there's some complex kind of very disturbing reaction as it kind of gulps it down. It's probably best not looking too directly at that thing. But yeah, it's like it sucked a boba up a straw. And then it pops it and goes, delicious.
We are nothing if not bobas within Cthulhu's
Slurpee, yeah.
bubble tea drink.
Bubble tea, yeah. I'm going to retitle this Cthulhu's Bubble Tea. Cool. So, Jerry, who is bleeding, Lola, who is shaking. What do you do?
Yeah, Jerry, what do I do? What?
I need some help. I can't reach it, but my shoulder is like pouring out blood, and I'm starting to lose a little bit of consciousness.
What? I don't know what to do. I'm not a doctor. Is there like a sheet or something around I could just like put on him?
Oh, yeah. 100%. So you want to try first aid?
Sure. You can start throwing tissues at him.
I have a strange feeling no one here is good at
a
first
38,
aid.
but I don't know what my first aid is, so
Probably worse than mine.
It's under
Probably
F.
30.
it's a 30. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to spend some luck on it?
You better thank me for this, man. 8 points of luck. Save this schmuck who put me in this situation. All right.
Cool. Well, you get a point of health back there, Jer.
Yay.
As Lola, like, there's probably some costumes and things from an earlier performance. You like rip some pieces of that off. Maybe
She just tears the cravat from his chest.
Right.
Wraps it.
maybe like grabs the call notes for the show and wads it up into a piece of paper and just like painfully shoves it into the wound and then wraps it up.
Back in the womb.
Yeah, exactly. You did some sort of war drama, which of course were all the rage as you were coming up in the theater, and so you're just like, I think this is what they did. It's, I will say, not expert, but it is sufficient, however, to stanch the bleeding and make you feel a little bit less like you're about to die, Jerry. That buys time for Maurice and John because you're headed now in the backstage direction, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Lola and Jerry, as you're tying up the kind of cloth around Jerry's chest to hold the patch in place, you hear just rumbling, running footsteps, and those
So I
two
pull the gun again.
go grab on the ground for the gun where you dropped it, then wave it around wildly as those two gentlemen who you saw spark the lighter come careening around the corner. You guys come careening around the corner to see a wounded, bloody man and a non-wounded but also kind of bloody woman, and she has a gun trained on you. It's the beautiful actress.
Whoa. Hello. Don't shoot. We heard gunfire and we're just coming back to check here. It looks like Merlin's got a bit of a wound going on here. What's going on? Did you shoot him?
I didn't shoot him. First of all, someone hit him with an axe. I shot the guy with an axe, which is allowed.
There's a somewhat steaming, bubbling pile of filth about 4 feet away as she gestures. Sure.
I would like the axe.
Okay.
I'm gonna say to the Don't I know you? Weren't you in that movie with that chimp, with the dancing chimp?
Oh my
She
God.
shoots you.
Yeah.
Yes, and he was a horrible acting partner.
I don't know. I thought his I thought his performance was pretty evocative.
Yeah, after
Shoots
several
him dead.
takes, thanks to me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's neat.
I,
Can I put-
I
can I
always-
put my hand-
immediately.
You guys are normal. You're
Yeah, I feel normal. I mean, it feels like we've been in these situations before in the past, but we are.
so this is
effectively-
your fault.
No, no, these are never our fault. We just seem to find our way into them for some reason.
You
Well,
ever
any-
think to
if-
look at
into our
yourself?
area.
If anything,
ending up
it's
in these
his fault.
situations and that you brought it here?
No, I'm pretty sure it's the Magic Man's fault.
Okay, well,
never
I
seen
need you
this
to go find a
before.
public payphone and go contact the authorities.
Okay, can you put the gun down? I still see you're holding it up right at my face.
It's gonna stay there.
Okay.
Is that man not bleeding out? Is he
That's why I'm
good?
saying he is bleeding out. That's why you need to go get help.
Okay. That's the issue.
Wait, don't Derringers only have one shot?
That's a very good point.
At the same time, I also have mine in my pocket, ready to whip out if I need to. Because two random people running up after I just got hit by an axe, I'm like, nope, we're not screwed around with this.
Lola's a dead shot, but doesn't understand reloading. So that's a good point, Maurice.
It's like, okay, well, anyways, now I'm not going to do anything to you, even though you don't really have an effective weapon at this time. But so we're just gonna have to continue as a team, hopefully, in this situation. Otherwise, we're all gonna. I was about to say the F word. That's against my religion. We're all about to die. If we don't, if
Okay,
we
well,
don't work
you
together.
pick him up and let's leave this terrible building.
You don't have another shot. You can put the gun down.
You don't know that. It could be a special gun.
Oh, it could be a special Derringer model.
I'm gonna slowly walk towards the axe, and just kind of slowly pick it up and toss it towards Maurice,
Thank you.
At
And
that
then-
time,
and then go to Gary afterwards,
All right.
it's Jerry.
and kind of Jerry. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was Merlin. Okay.
That could be two.
There's a playbill. Gerard Chamberlain is the amazing Merlin.
Oh, I didn't read that part. Oh man.
I'm just gonna look Gary over and just kind of make sure that he's kind of patched up somewhat, and
Yeah, I mean
the
it's
wound
not
is at least cleaned and
a,
or cleaned.
it's not a great job, but you know that there's not much that could be done at this point aside from like actual medical professional care, because you can only first aid once. So yeah, you're like, I mean, you can maybe like tighten it up a little bit, but it's not going to have a mechanical effect. But yeah, you can check him over. He's clearly stable. It's a flesh wound. Probably, maybe not yet super painful, but probably is going to be super painful.
I'll go
But
ahead
like
and get
he's
him
not
up.
going into shock or anything.
Yeah, go ahead and get him up on his feet.
Okay. Cool. Where are you going to go?
Outside.
I was gonna say
You
I'm gonna
two
try.
seem to have dealt with this before, so what do we do? Like, you seem to find yourself in precarious situations, so bring to us what to do.
The funny thing is, usually we have some sort of extremely knowledgeable expert on this matter, and none of us are that. Like the last time we
Apparently
had this,
that's you today.
I don't feel so strongly about this one because what I saw was what was it a what we managed to see that drove me almost completely nuts was an image of a giant being holding a chalice that is the stage, and all the audience members are tiny little puppets, and that's very off-putting and outside of my wheelhouse, to be perfectly honest.
Basically, the crowd is marionettes, and you got this thing holding up. Okay, got it.
Does Maurice do like? And I saw that.
And I saw them, it was like marionettes and
Yeah. Hey, does Lola or Jerry look up as Maurice is describing the thing looming above you?
I'm gonna
Just
be
goes
honest.
by the
My first instinct
masses.
was like when they're looking at the stage from the front of the stage, not the back of the stage. So I didn't even think to look
Okay.
up.
Okay. Cool.
It's the a piece of massive. I'll look up.
Okay. Yeah. Roll sanity.
Oh, that is a 25. I am good.
I'm
D4.
still sitting here with my Derringer that still has one shot left, although she's questioning whether it actually has a shot.
Right.
4. Sorry, that's wrong.
Yeah.
right. Sometimes Derringers do have two barrels.
Yeah. So yes, Jerry, you look up
This one is a 25. It says
and
it.
you see
Shot.
just the face of this creature is a little bit behind. Like you look up, like you're expecting to see something in the this isn't a large stage, but there is a little bit of a like a catwalk above just for rigging things or whatever. So you're expecting to see something like up in the rafters. And then as you look up, there are no rafters and you see just the edge of this figure looming above. You do see that tendril. And yes, it doesn't break your mind, but it cracks it a little bit. This is not the vibe that you were experiencing mere moments ago. What happens? Where does everyone go? What do you do?
John's gonna try for the emergency exit door.
Okay.
You boys need to carry him out.
I'll carry him out. I have no problem with that.
You got the
I
axe.
think
I'll
I
carry
can
him.
Carry myself out.
Okay.
Cool. So who goes to open the door?
John does.
I wanted to open the door. Too bad.
You can open up the door. That's fine. You can lead it. I'm not gonna.
You're carrying the other guy. I'll open the door and incur
open the door.
I'll open the door and incur the painful wrath that comes within. All right.
Well,
Maurice is opening the door.
All right.
Jerry already had his turn.
All right. Maurice, you open the door and everyone stumbles out.
Lives happily ever after.
Oh, well, we're done. Good.
Oh, thanks. Yay.
Into a field.
Of
What
happiness.
you got
and
on
bliss.
Shay?
Be a happy field.
It is day.
Bones.
Oh.
It is summer. It is warm. You are greeted by the smell of warm vegetation, tilled earth, greenness, fertility. You hear the lowing of cattle, maybe the bleating of a goat or something. Far away, maybe the whicker of a horse and the clatter of wooden wheels on a rocky rut. Maurice, this is very familiar to you.
Oh, is it?
You can see over the kind of ripening grain just the little peak of a whitewashed farmhouse. Nothing large, Nothing fancy. It's very familiar.
I feel like I've dreamt of this place.
Well, in dreams of your childhood.
Yeah.
So as soon as he opens up the door, are we just in the field?
Yeah, you're all kind of like, oh, we got to get out of here, bustling, and it's this weird kind of distorted space, and you kind of get out. You get just like a little glimpse of alleyway, and then you cross the threshold, and then just woof, totally different setting.
John's gonna spin around to see if the door is still there.
Nope.
Cool.
I
What
don't know
happens?
to tell you guys. I'm going to explain to them that I don't know what happened, guys, but this is where I grew up. This is Little Brook, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So this is your fault.
I don't think so.
Is there like a hospital or a police station nearby or something?
Well, I mean, we could go to the community center and probably get some help, but I'm not sure if we should trust it.
What else are we supposed to do?
I guess there's nothing else to do. I guess we should see if we can get help there. I guess I know the way, and I try to lead him to the community center.
I was gonna say John would mention the house. Would the house maybe be closer than the community center?
I guess would I know whose house that is?
It's your house.
It's my house. Yeah, that's my house. Well, I don't know. I guess I don't know who would be there to help right there this time of day. I mean,
Maybe your ma and pa.
yeah, exactly. Let's go see if Mom and Pa's back home.
Who knows? Maybe when we go through the door, we'll just end up somewhere else.
What are the chances that that Mom and Pa are actually are dead in real life for Maurice? So how would
I don't know. You decide.
I don't know. I would think that they'd be dead by now.
Okay.
Honestly.
How old is Maurice?
Yeah. Maurice, I'm putting myself at 35, maybe. I don't know, 30, 35.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go have a look.
All right. So you traipse up. You kind of lead your colleagues, your fellow travelers out of the field into the gravel track that you remember going into town. You see the old apple tree in the front yard with the plank and rope that your pa put up in it to make a swing for you. You can hear behind the house the chickens always clucking and scurrying around and digging around for bits of seed, etc. It's very evocative for you of your childhood. It seems incredibly real. And I will say that you're struck by the fact that it is like your memories, except that your memories, of course, it was years ago, so they're a little bit vague, but like you remember very clearly that swing. It has an emotional attachment to you. And as you approach and maybe put your hand on the apple tree, you realize that the branch that the swing is on, you can actually reach up and grab it. And the swing seems very low to the ground. You're seeing this very familiar scene that you probably haven't seen as an adult from a different angle. So everything is the same, but also different. It seems very real.
Yeah. I mean, I do dream of this place, especially after I didn't fight in the war, but I was in the war. I worked as an ambulance driver, and that was a horrible thing to see.
Yeah.
Ferrying all those people, and I would always wish for this kind of time in my life. You know, this better time.
Right, great. So, how did you guys get out of this situation the other times you were in it?
They're all different situations. They are incredibly weird.
John's gonna look up
Yeah.
and see if that thing is still there.
Oh, give me a spot hidden.
Don't succeed, please.
That is a fail. It's a normal failure.
There is a vaguely ropey cloud that seems a little bit odd. But the sun is high, so it's kind of hard to, like, you can't just like stare up directly up because the sun is quite high. So no, we don't notice anything terrifying or mind breaking.
I still don't think we're in the real world.
No shit, Sherlock. We teleported here.
That doesn't mean anything. Have you fought an elemental monster before?
Oh, excuse me. You guys,
All
we
right.
tried to ask you about it, and you were like, oh, yeah, we've been through this before. Oh, but we're not experts. We don't actually know what's going on.
We're not. We're kind of more
So
or less
which
the
is it?
goons.
Yeah, we're the hired goons mostly.
Look,
We did the wet work.
We
I
were
may
just
have-
trying to enjoy a night out on the town, enjoy a magic show, and then this guy over here does some weird thing by sawing you in half and teleports us to another dimension.
Hey,
Ask
hold
him.
on. Excuse me, Gerard. How many magic shows do you think you've done over the years?
Let's see. I've been doing this for probably about, I don't know, 10, 15 years now.
Ooh,
Do
jeez.
about 60 to 70 a year. So yeah, it's definitely been a couple
No,
thousand.
like in the thousands. And so, how many times has something like this happened?
This has never happened.
Never happened. And how many times has something like this happened to the two of you?
Like this situation? Never.
The situation like it where the weird stuff is happening.
I've done this 5 times.
Uh-huh. And whose childhood place were we teleported to?
That's a
Where-
good point.
Entirely in your
That's a
childhood.
very good point.
It just seems like it's more concerned with you two.
Well, the last one was not mine.
But you are still involved.
Against my own will? Thank you very much.
Much like me and Gerard now, because you two dragged us into this.
You would still be on that stage, holding a gun with no bullets in it, ma'am.
It actually has
Excuse
2
me, what
bullets,
did you do?
but
I killed a monster. You came up, picked up an axe, and opened a door to nowhere.
I guess the thing would be is let's open up another door.
we don't have.
You can go ahead and try it this time.
Do you see a door? Because I don't see any doors in this vast field that
Oh,
we're
there's a
at
front
right
door
now.
to the house.
Yeah.
Up 3 steps to the porch.
Do you
There's
want to
a-
open my door?
there's
My
a-
family door?
There's a rocking chair. There's a couple of chairs, but there's one kind of rocking chair over in the corner of the porch. A gust of wind comes up. You can hear it before you feel it in the rustling of the crops. And then you feel this kind of cooling breeze, and then the rocking chair just kind of creaks back and forth in the breeze. A crow cawing above you.
I'm gonna go see if anyone's home.
Okay.
All right. I just open the door and I yell, "Hello!"
Yeah, you pop your head in. Would everyone give me a listen?
Listen. I don't know what my listen is.
43.
30.
What's 000?
That's 100. That's a critical fail.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Ooh. Well, I got a regular success, so that was under
And
30.
So
27.
failed.
Okay.
So who else? Hold on. So did everybody else fail other
No.
than Maurice? Can I use a major to flip
Yeah.
my 10 and 0? Okay, because that would make it a critical extreme success.
Cool.
Wait, you can do that?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
They're called major
So-
major.
Okay, because I got a 9 or a 9D. So flip it would be a 9.
Cool.
And that would put me.
At
That would
an
be-
extreme success.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you hear it at the same time that Maurice does. But you're given your situation, you're probably not sure how you recognize this sound, but you know what it is. John and Maurice hear a high-pitched whine. Like it's a little buzzing, a little whistly kind of sound. It's hard to tell exactly where it's coming from because it kind of seems to be coming from everywhere. Maurice, I think subconsciously, this gives you a feeling of dread,
Oh.
but it takes a moment before your brain clicks. John immediately knows this is the sound of a falling bomb.
He's going to say. John wants to panic, obviously. That's just who he is. He's going to look at Maurice and go, bomb shelter?
And with that, it just clicks in my head what it is. It's just like, take cover.
Yeah.
And then you dive, even though we don't know where it is.
So, yeah, everyone gets to do a thing. What do you do? So you were standing at the kind of on the porch with the door open, yelling in. So everyone gets to do a thing before terrible things happen. What do you do? So we start that with Maurice saying, take cover. What does everyone do?
I push John out of the way.
Like, which way, though?
Away from the building.
Okay.
I
So
feel like the target might beat the building.
so you shove him off the porch. Cool. You give me a strength. John, give me a dex.
All right. Strength is 70. 28. That's a hard success.
Cool.
Strength is 85.
Dex for you.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Dex is 85. That is it's a normal success.
Okay. So Maurice just like throws you into the air, like off the porch, and you like stumble a little bit, but kind of catch yourself in a run. So you've gotten Maurice used his action to give you a good boost away from the house. What is Lola doing?
Running down the couple steps of the porch and just diving onto the ground.
Okay. And Jer?
Just because I got a critical fail, I feel like I didn't even hear them. Like something caught my distraction and I wasn't even paying attention. Like I thought I saw something in the fields and my brain just like tunnel vision to that and I didn't hear anything.
Well, interestingly enough, you probably did see something in the field. Why don't you give me a sanity check?
That is a success.
Okay, take one. So yes, you that breeze was really cooling, but it also reminded you that you're back because as soon as the breeze hit the blood-soaked shirt that you're wearing, it was like really, really cool. And so you kind of like got distracted and were kind of looking back and maybe kind of like very gingerly trying to peel the shirt off, so it doesn't get too stuck to you. So you were a little distracted and you did see something moving in the field, or many somethings moving in the field. Dark figures just inside the line of the crops. You saw the glimpse of one of these distorted faces staring with that same intensity, that same hunger. And as all this happens, like you heard people going, they dive for cover, whatever, and you saw someone go flying, but you're just like caught in that moment. Cool. Hey, Jerry and Maurice, would you like to dodge for me?
Not great at it, but I'll do it.
Add a setback die.
Setback die.
Sorry, penalty die is the correct term.
So I started with an 18.
Oh, good.
And I ended with an 18. Wow.
Ooh, good job.
I started with
I-
a 6.
Oh, and
Do I re-roll the high?
Re-roll the
tens?
10s. Yeah. It can only get worse from here.
that is a hard
And
success.
It was a 26.
Okay, which is a what for you?
It is still a success. It is whatever it's a hard success.
Oh, so you both got hard successes. Excellent.
Yes.
You both are going to take 1 point of damage
All right.
from flying debris. Yes, John.
I didn't get to act.
You didn't have to act.
Oh, okay.
You can do a thing. I mean, if you want to run back and be on the porch, you can. But I basically read it as Maurice sacrificing his move to give you the opportunity to be out of the immediate danger. Cool. So yes, the house blows up around you. Everyone has ringing ears from this massive explosion. Burning chunks of wood, splinters of glass flying everywhere. Maurice and Jerry get like banged by heavy pieces of rafter and like just some superficial cuts and splinters as the roof caves in and the walls blow out. And through the ringing of your ears, you hear the moaning. From the rubble. Cries for help.
Oh, God.
What happens?
John would go back in to see how Maurice is doing. And Gary.
Yeah. Pull some beams off of them. Battered and bruised. A little bit bloodied. Jerry's axe wound is probably not doing any better, at least. But they luckily avoided the worst of it. Lola, you dive for the ground. You feel some things hit you, like it's probably painful, and maybe you get like a beam across your legs that like pins you momentarily. But you can check yourself. Nothing's broken. You're not bleeding. What happens?
She's gonna get up, ears ringing, very upset. Are you kidding me? What was that? She's looking
John-
specifically towards John and Maurice. Because that's who she blames for all of this.
John's gonna kind of turn around to her and just kind of one of those like he can't exactly fully hear her and go, "I think it was a bomb."
What?
Exactly.
And she's gonna start looking around for her because she probably dropped her pistol during all that to find her gun.
Yeah. It kind of tumbled out of your hand, but you see it there.
Yeah.
Laying on the ground. And it accidentally went off, so now it's unloaded. No, it's fine. Yeah, as your hearing begins to return, just, you're all kind of doing this to get the ringing out of your ears. Help! Oh my God, help us! What happened?
No. I start having a little bit of a moment because like the what is it? The ambulance driver in me wants to go and fish somebody out of a pit somewhere injured, of course, and bring him back to an ambulance. But I'm also incredibly confused because it's hard to tell what's real, but like it feels extremely real to Maurice.
Feels extremely real, and the voice that's crying out for help is very famous. Give me a sanity check if you wouldn't mind.
Very famous.
Sorry, very familiar.
Oh, familiar.
I was about to
Okay.
say.
It's Winston Churchill.
What am
As
I
a
at right
child, because he's World War II. Anyway.
My sanity is 41. Let's see. I have failed
Ooh.
by 7, I believe.
Let's make it spicy. Why didn't you give me 2d4?
Oh, man. All right. Here's the first. It's a 4. Second one.
We know where this is going.
It's a 3.
Oh, is that
Which,
enough to is that enough to put you over your threshold for the session?
Well past the threshold.
So
11.
So it's temporary. Well, the good news is you don't need to worry about temporary insanity. Now,
Right.
I will say this. Give me an intelligence roll.
Oh, these aren't necessarily good to succeed at. My intelligence is 50, 57. Should I spend the luck?
How much do you need to spend?
7. How much
What
do
do
I
you
have?
Wow.
48 out of 50. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, so that's a regular success now.
This is real.
Oh, no.
This just happened. You don't know how, but this isn't some sort of illusion. This can't have happened because it's the wrong time, wrong place. This didn't happen. Like, you are in your childhood. Like, you're not at your childhood home now. You are in your childhood. And
Right.
this just actually happened.
Right.
Thus, the insanity. So how do we think that manifests for Maurice?
Let's see. He would probably be excessively heroic. Heroic to a dangerous amount of danger, like a dangerous amount of heroics. Like, it's like, oh, let me get in the way. It's like he wasn't.
Yeah.
That person wasn't in danger. Why did you get in the way of that shot?
So extreme
that's it.
savior complex.
Yeah, exactly.
So Maurice now has an extreme savior complex that endangers him and those around him.
Yeah.
And that will be true until Maurice gets, I don't know, extensive electroshock therapy.
I'll have to go visit the alienist in town.
Who fails every psychology check. So yeah, it'll be fine.
Psychoanalysis.
Yes.
That's
So
different.
So what does Maurice do in the throes of this extreme negligent savior complex?
Gonna go save that voice, whoever it is.
Yes. So you see Maurice just say, "Ma, I'm coming for you," and then just start,
Ma.
yeah, and then just start tearing through the rubble. What do you do?
Sorry, me or
Everyone else.
everyone else.
I'm just gonna check on Gerard. These two, who knows what they're doing over there?
Cool. Hey, why don't you give, because Gerard was kind of, knocked around and blown to bits. Why don't you give me a spot hidden there, Lola?
32. Okay, regular success.
Cool. So as he was kind of thrown to the ground and maybe tumbled a little bit, you see in the side pocket of his jacket, there's something kind of peeking out. Like it didn't completely fly out, but there's an object in his coat pocket. A book, in fact, relatively small. But it catches your eye because it is not a, we'll say the binding isn't entirely normal. Like it's some sort, it's clearly bound in leather, but the leather is textured. It seems, it's not smooth like you would expect in a library. It's a kind of golden color, but not gold like gilt, but like the leather itself has a kind of golden tone to it. And
What is this, a pocket Bible? Maybe this can help us. And I'll
Right.
pull it out of his pocket.
Oh, cool. You gonna read it?
I just look at the cover. I assume it's like a...
Well, there's nothing on the cover.
Oh. Okay, then yeah, I'll open it.
Cool.
Just
Give me a
like
sanity check.
quickly. Great. 32. Didn't I just roll a 32?
Was it a success?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
All right.
Give me a D4. You're not studying it, but you're looking at it.
2. Not terrible,
Cool.
but I'm getting a little bit...
Getting close to that threshold. You flip and it's like, what is this?
Halfway.
Is this like a code book or something? And then as you're flipping through, you see a drawing, actually a woodblock print. It is this, somehow, it's not even particularly well done. It's a little bit crude. It is surrounded by this kind of spidery writing that is clearly not English. Some of the letters are in kind of a rusty red ink, or figures. They're not even letters. They're some sort of ideogram. Like someone clearly took care to produce this, but the woodcut image, although it is crude, just fills you with terror. You're not even sure why. It's an atavistic reaction. As soon as you see this image, the part of you that is still kind of balanced and sane recognizes from the description that Maurice and John gave that this is a representation of that figure they said they saw. It's massive, kind of looming over. And there's a feeling, you're not quite sure how you form this impression, but there's a feeling that it's just sort of there. Like it doesn't seem alert, if that makes sense. Like you don't really see eyes. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. It just seems to be existing and absorbing. But even that brief glimpse, how many sanity points did you lose?
He was 2.
Add 2 to your
Yeah,
mythos
2.
score.
To my what score?
Your Cthulhu mythos score. That is also going to permanently reduce your maximum sanity by the same amount.
Oh, great.
Cthulhu mythos starts at 0, and as you encounter more things, including manuscripts, your score can go up, but your sanity suffers as a result.
Wait, so was Jerry in possession of this thing?
It's in his pocket.
Yep. So Lola is going to scream, drop the book, be like, "What is that? Why do you have that?"
I've never seen that before in my life.
Which is true. Give me a power roll, Jerry.
Power.
The power.
That is a 3, so that is extreme success.
2 things are true. You have never seen it before. But you also found it in your dressing room. Earlier today. With a note attached. And the note was unsigned. But the note read simply, "From one magician to another." You have a flash of, like, you're 100% honest when you say, "I've never seen this before." And then as soon as those words come out, you have a flash to coming in and, maybe nursing a little bit of a hangover from last night and, thinking about the bills. And you probably got to, like, is there a good garage in town? Because before you leave town, you're going to need to, get the car seen to. And, geez, it's getting later in the year and I really don't want to go to Florida again. And like in that kind of just internal state that you're often in. And then your eyes rested on this and there was kind of like oh, this is intriguing. Oh, someone left me a gift. That's really cool. And then you were on stage. Like the intervening period between that and looking out the curtains to kind of suss out the crowd is just a blank in your head. John, Maurice is probably hurting himself. He is going crazy digging into this rubble, calling for Ma. And you hear the voice calling back.
So she dropped the book.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna probably see the blank stare of, where did I get this book from?
Yeah, you're probably doing a little bit of a tennis game of like, here's Maurice over here freaking out, and then you see her scream and see her toss this book and then yell at Jerry, "Where'd you get this book?" Yeah.
He's just gonna go. So I'm kind of torn of grabbing the book to try to get it away from them, but he's also wanting to go help Maurice because he's hurting himself. So I
Tough
think
choices build character.
Correct. I think John's gonna go help Maurice and forget about the book.
Okay.
And hopefully they can kind of deal with that thing on their own, and they can experience some of these evil mythic nonsense on their own, like we've had to. So
passing
he's
the
gonna
buck on the younger generation. All right.
And so he's gonna go help Maurice, and he's going to kind of not exactly try to calm him down, but hey, let me help. There's 2 of us.
Yeah.
And kind of like not so much get in his way, but like, hey, let me help you. Let me move. Let's move this together so you don't get hurt.
He is. I'm going to say Maurice is not fully present, but I'm sure is not going to is not going to react violently to you helping. Is probably not like you probably get like as you're kind of let me help you, a piece of rubble that he's just ripped off with brute strength flies back and nearly hits you. He's clearly not focused on you.
Maurice is fully driven
Yeah.
at this particular task. It's his entire world right now.
But isn't impeding your ability to assist if you want to help dig through the rubble.
Seeing him kind of go through this situation of like just throwing things around and being reckless, is there like a role that I can do to try to calm him down a little bit?
If this were temporary insanity, yes. But in this case, I mean, you can certainly in character, you can certainly try. I think your assessment. Oh, give me a psychology.
Okay.
And add a bonus die because this is pretty obvious.
Okay.
That doesn't necessarily mean it succeeds if history is to be considered.
No.
Yeah. That is a extreme success.
Yeah, he's
that is a 5.
He's out of it. There's literally, I mean, you could sedate him, right? Or you could try to physically wrestle him. But it's not like he can't hear you, but he's in a state.
Is there like a possible way to like knock someone out?
You can attack them.
I'm gonna just try to knock him out. I think it might just be the better option here.
I mean,
of trying to
when I
harm
say he's hurting himself,
party
he's
him.
not taking
Correct.
damage. He's not about to die, but it's distressing because he's clearly showing no sense of self-preservation. So you're going to attack him.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to knock Maurice out.
All right. Maurice, you are not
Fighting brawl?
prevented from defending yourself.
All right, I will defend myself.
Yeah, you can dodge or fight back.
I'll fight back. I don't want to hurt John, but
In this moment, it's someone who's preventing you from saving someone,
yeah,
which is an
Brawl.
enemy. So contested fighting brawl.
21 under. Yeah, that's a hard success.
I also got a hard success.
Mine's 21. Does the number matter?
No, and I think you both do damage.
Oh,
So
okay.
I got a 13 under 45.
Yeah, it's just degree of success.
All right.
So basically, it's a melee. You both, you come up and try to whack him, and Maurice turns around and socks you one. So
I
yeah,
will not use the hatchet, but I will hit him with my fists.
cool.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so what is that? That's
and then is it plus build? Is that for
If you have a damage bonus down next to your unarmed
John,
strike.
you're not gonna like this. This is 7 damage.
I do 4 damage to you, bud.
That's max damage, actually. Now that I think about it.
Cool. Hey, John, would
Sorry.
you give? Go ahead. Would you give me a con, John?
Absolutely.
Sorry, what damage did you do to me?
4.
4.
4. Okay, that's a lot of
That
damage.
is a fail.
So, Maurice, first of all, probably breaks your jaw, and second of all, knocks you flat out. So you go, I know, I'll save him by punching him, and he just turns around and pop.
I
So-
dig in real deep with a shoveling uppercut.
Yeah, so Lola and Gerard see John just go to attack Maurice, and Maurice just deck him. I mean, the kind of thing where John goes limp and just kind of slides back on the ground. Like he's probably lifted up on the air, limply hits the ground and slides.
I
In your
grab
direction.
him and I assess him quickly to see if he's all right, to the point of like, okay, he's probably gonna live. And I put him in the rescue position where
Yeah,
and then I go back to the house.
get back to digging. Yeah.
Yeah.
So That was more than half my health in one hit.
Oh, yeah.
Do I get a major wound?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, broken jaw.
Sorry, villain.
Oh, you're good.
So, what's the amazing Merlin and Lola the Starlet doing?
That book had that puppet master thing of whatever the hell it was in it.
I mean, I'll take your word for it because I've never I
It was
genuinely
in your
don't know how.
pocket.
Here, look.
If you got us into this, you need to figure out how to get it out.
I mean, I I guess I pissed it off with my magic, maybe. I don't know, but like I briefly remember seeing the book in my changing room when I was in there earlier, but like I didn't touch it. It just was like, okay. I had a note on it basically saying, from one musician to another. So that's about all I know about it. I mean,
Well, maybe the answer to how to get us out of here is in the book. So, Mr. Magic Man,
I guess that's the only option we have at this point because we've got Maurice knocking the crap out of John and
they've
random
gone
things blowing
fully
up
crazy.
and
Well, and that voice, that plaintive voice crying for help from the rubble starts to change, deepen, become more raspy, urgent, hungry. It really doesn't sound like someone's mom.
honestly, I feel like it's kind of the same voices like when they went from clapping to getting angry, wanting us to continue to do more tricks on stage. And
You think if he unburies it, it's gonna like unbury something awful? Is that why John was trying to attack him? Do I shoot him?
I don't think we need to shoot him because there's only four of us now, at least four of us that are human,
I
at
care
least as
about
far as
one
we
of
know.
us, and if he uncovers the freaking Antichrist or something under there,
I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I mean, this is, unfortunately, this is bad times in America, but I'm not going to tell a woman what to do. If you want to defend yourself, you can defend yourself, but I'm not going to intervene.
okay, so I'm gonna go not too close to Maurice, but it's like you find an answer in the stupid book. I'll deal with Maurice. And I'm gonna fix my gun on him. I'm gonna stay out of reach because I just watched him break John's jaw. Like, Maurice, stop digging, or I'm going to shoot you.
No, I can't stop. I can't stop. I gotta save her.
That whoever you're trying to save, that's not her.
No, it's my mother. I have to save her. She's here. She's real. She's alive.
She's not. She's that whatever that thing is. I'm pretty sure it's like the Antichrist or something. You're a religious boy, right?
Yeah, I'm a Quaker. Like I say, kind of dismissively. Just
The
Giving her-
nonviolent ones.
yeah,
As he pulls one of John's teeth out of his knuckles.
yeah.
Okay, what makes you think if a bomb dropped on the house, she would be alive?
Just I can hear her.
That's not her. That makes no sense.
I've
We
heard
can
my
all
mom.
hear her too, and it doesn't sound like a woman.
What does it sound like to Maurice at this time?
It sounds like your ma.
It sounds like my ma. Yeah, and I'm just
Okay,
like,
well-
no, it sounds like my mother.
If your mother's demonic, I'm serious. Stop digging, or I'm going to shoot you, and both of you will die.
So there's a little bit of standoff. And Maurice, you're impaired. You're impaired, but you understand what's happening, right? You understand that she's trying to stop you. You understand she's trying to apply logic. So you hear everything. It just doesn't negate your permanent insanity. Hey, Gerard, what are you doing?
I'm gonna pick up the book and try to figure out what is going on.
Cool. You touch the book. Give me a power roll and a sanity roll.
He touched the book.
So you touch it?
I roll. I'm gonna spend 2 luck to make this a extreme success.
Cool.
Oh
As soon as you
my.
touch the book, you remember picking up the book in your dressing room. You remember how the binding felt warm and smooth under your hands. You remember pulling it up and smelling it and smelling dust and spices, something almost musky, but in a pleasant way. You remember thinking how odd it was, but how it must be valuable. And that intriguing note from one magician to another. I mean, you've had fans, like for a night kind of situation, but this was someone who clearly thought very highly of you and gave you something very valuable. Now give me a sanity roll.
It is a 10. So that is a pass.
Just a regular success?
I mean, sanity, do we have great successes?
I mean, yeah, if it's a extreme success, that might change things, or a harder extreme success, that might change things. It typically doesn't change the sanity loss, but it might change some things in this case.
I mean, sanity is 57 and I got a 10.
Okay. So that's an extreme success, right?
Yeah.
Cool. You don't get pulled into it. I mean, mentally.
Oh.
But you remember opening the book. You remember that feeling almost of nausea as you slammed it closed, just seeing the barest glimpse of a few characters. You remember the feeling that even though you glimpsed them, they were now in your head. You remember almost a pressure, a push, or like a pull towards the book, but it felt more like a push inside you toward the book. You stood there, stock still, for what seemed like an hour, wrestling with yourself to whether to open the book again. And it was all you could do to maintain that. But as soon as you lost focus, you found yourself with the book. You see in rapid succession just glimpses and snippets of yourself as almost like you're looking at a very bright light, like you can't quite focus on it, but then you start to become accustomed to it. You start to be able to look at it and grasp it. The strange, jagged figures stop crawling in front of your eyes and almost start to congeal into some sense of meaning. It's not a language you speak, but you seem to start to absorb something. Whoever gave you this gift is your new best friend, because in this book is true magic. Control over what's real and not real. And as you turn a few more pages, again, in this kind of like you're just getting glimpses, you have a memory of realizing that real and not real aren't any different from each other. That the essence of true magic is to dissolve the barrier between what we think of as real and what we think of as impossible, that truth beyond. And then you get to the woodcut. And you do not see it in this time, but you are having the memory of that page speaking to you. An incantation to evoke the master of dreams, the sleeping idiot Azathoth, who breaks down the barriers between real and unreal, who makes dreams into reality and reality into dreams, who simply floats through some strange space, ignorant of everything around it, but feeding on reality itself. So that's what happens to you. What's everyone else doing?
Sleeping.
Yeah. You can give me a con check, John.
Might give him a slight nudge with my foot just to see if he's alive.
Right. We'll just see if that if you've been rendered comatose, if you were just briefly knocked out.
So if your ability score is at 50, what is the high side of a serious fail?
96. No. If it's below 50, it has to be. I think it has to be below 50.
Okay.
To get the 96 to 100 crit fail.
Okay. I got 98.
But what is your con ability?
50.
Okay.
50.
Yeah. It's just
Okay.
you nearly. So Lila goes to kick you to wait, but then like kicks you in the head. So it nearly puts you in a coma, but it doesn't happen. But you're going to be out for a little bit. Thank goodness Maurice put you in the rescue position.
Yeah.
Cool. So Lila is just kicking you in the spine, which I'm sure is fine.
This is why John runs and doesn't fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last time he didn't run, he almost died as well. So
Yeah.
There's a reason John runs. John's running from something, including himself.
yeah.
So there is something really weird, by the way, Lola, as probably the only person who is conscious and compos mentis enough to notice it. There's something very strange happening with Jerry. Like, not just with Jerry, but like all around Jerry.
One thing at a time.
You look back at Jerry and it's like he's surrounded by like a funhouse mirror. Like you can see, like if you look just past him, you can see the fields behind him all warped and twisted and kind of spinning. As Jerry kind of goes, ugh, as he has one of these flashes of memory, hand still on the book, it's suddenly night and very cold. Like the sun disappeared and you just get the briefest glimpse of strange whirling constellations in unearthly colors.
Oh, is the house gone?
Oh yeah. You're on. This is some sort of blasted plain with maybe hints of strange alien architecture on the horizon, just for a brief kind of, it's almost like a sound of like a rip, like a rapid rip sound. And reality just kind of seems to rip apart. And you see this momentary glimpse of this landscape and feel a deep bone chill. And then it's back to being this, I mean, it would be a bucolic setting if it weren't for the destroyed house. That same
Wrong direction, Jerry.
juddering distortion around Jerry is just flickering in and out.
Keep trying. But not that again, please. Reese, I think you killed your friend. Could you please stop digging so I don't have to shoot you?
He's alive. He's fine. I'm trying to save my mother here.
I don't think he's alive.
You don't understand. I wasn't there when she died the first time. Now I'm here, and now I can help her.
She's already died before. That's definitely not her.
No, I know for certain that's her. She's real and she's alive, and I can help her.
Okay, I'm shooting you.
Well, you might want to belay that because I'm going to say, you came up behind Maurice. Maurice has now turned and is facing you. So you actually
Okay,
have
so he's not still actively digging. Okay.
well, I mean, I'm going to assume that you're talking to her. So you have a chance to see the pile of rubble behind him. And you have a chance to see what's crawling out of it. Definitely not someone's mom.
Maurice, there's a monster.
What?
I need you to move. There's a monster. I need to shoot the monster.
I think you have a line of sight.
I think moving is fine, but it's not going to stop me from what I want to do. I move out of the
Can
way.
you look at the monster? Yeah, I'm gonna shoot the monster.
Cool.
Sorry if it's your mom.
I'm like 80% sure that's not my mom.
Well, I think your back is
Okay,
to it. She's like, there's a
23.
monster. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use 3 luck points to make it a hard success.
Cool. Do that
The real
damage.
the real monster is man.
Does that make a difference? I don't know if that makes a difference, but
Oh, I can never remember.
Is it just max damage and that's it? For a hard?
No, I don't think so.
Extreme is max damage.
Well,
Plus a die.
well, plus, yeah,
plus
plus.
that,
For a piercing attack.
Oh, okay.
I don't think hard makes a difference. But other than like contested. I'll look it up.
Max said it makes no difference.
Okay. Yes.
It might look cooler. Well, I got a 3.
Yes. So for reference, hard success just helps you like win in contest over someone who gets a regular success. Extreme success does extreme damage. Blunt deals maximum damage plus maximum damage bonus, if any. Impaling, which is blades and bullets, deal maximum amounts of damage plus damage bonus, if any, plus an additional die. So it's like a through and through.
SJ, did you say you got a 3?
No. I got a 23.
And then
Whoa.
spent 3 luck to knock
Okay.
it down to a hard success.
Okay. I thought you said you got a 3 because I thought you had a 10 in handguns. I was like, why don't you just use
No.
1 more luck to put it down to a 2 and
Okay.
do more damage?
No, I was using the skill for my Derringer specifically.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So you shoot the exceptionally long, very flexible arm that is reaching up out of the rubble. And then there is a unholy scream. Maurice, I think like you hear 2 things. You hear your mother scream in pain, and then you hear something else.
What, they're like the same voice?
Or
2
like
different
2 voices over each other.
Okay.
And I think the rubble begins to bulge and then not explode, but just kind of open up like a little flower of debris.
Oh, lovely.
And then just limbs start clawing their way out.
Yeah, I'm running back to Jerry. I'm out of bullets. Anyway.
Don't forget about the John.
Nope, forgotten.
All right, I'm gonna get the sense. I get the sense that Maurice's the whole 2-tonal voice thing, and coupled with what Lola has been saying, might actually ring truer than
I
given
think
our situation. And I think my wish to be extremely heroic in this sense would be to save John in this case.
so I think it's you while it was reasonable for you to believe that what was under the rubble was your mother, that was your number one priority. Now that it's no
Yeah.
longer reasonable to believe that,
Yeah.
then you were just going to pick another target for your madness.
Yeah. Which is John in this case.
Okay, cool.
I pick up John and I don't know, I guess I follow Lola or
Cool. I mean, you're all pretty close to whatever's crawling out of that hole. I think as you look back, Maurice, you can see there's a bit of shiny metal,
Oh yeah?
kind of cracked open. It gives you the sense that whatever's crawling out of the rubble is actually the payload of the bomb that went into the house
Right?
and cracked open. And now it's, I mean, it was a powerful explosion, but it wasn't quite what you would have expected from your previous experience. This is more like a delayed release situation. But what it's releasing is probably more horrifying. Hey, Maurice and Lola, would y'all give me a sanity check? I think Jerry's lost in his own thing at the moment, but you're seeing
What-
a horror from beyond. It might
I
be
get it.
disturbing.
47? Hold on. I don't remember what I'm at. Oh, no, I'm good, actually.
45 minus 11 would be 34. Okay, so I'm 34 sanity. I succeed.
Cool. You know what? In this case, it's just one more weird thing.
Yeah.
Besides your indefinite insanity is already triggered, so cool. So the rest of you kind of pile over near Jerry where he's still got his hand on this book. There is a very palpable aura of distortion around him. What happens?
Jerry, get us out of here. Get us out of here right now.
You hear that, Jerry?
Jerry,
I mean, you're having
giant
these
eldritch horror.
You're having these flashes,
need to
but
get out
you
right
you
now.
are also aware of your surroundings.
I feel like as I have this book in my hand and the words are starting to make sense, I start to realize that originally when I got the book, I said a certain incantation on another page, and I feel like this is the book telling me this is something else I need to say to change the current situation. Maybe not take us back to where we were, but to change it in some way. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what that is.
Well, you wouldn't, but you might. Would you roll? Just roll a D100. High is good.
So just 2d10s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
rolling a
Just
normal.
like rolling a normal percentile, but this isn't against anything.
We want a high number?
I mean, high is probably better than low. Maybe
Got a 77.
that's a pretty good number. Would you do me a favor?
Mhm.
Would you set your Cthulhu mythos to 77? And would you reduce your sanity and max sanity to 33?
Current sanity and max sanity to 33.
Your current and max sanity to 33.
Okay. That's
You're 100% correct. You read or cast a summoning of Azathoth. But you can undo it. It's going to take a mythos roll.
Sure.
And you rolled high. It'll probably be fine. I mean, you're
Imagine.
casting another reality-breaking spell, which can't be good for you.
Use all the boons.
Yeah.
What
We
did
have
he
4
roll?
major
It
boons.
was good, but let's see, where's it at? Let's see the number. I'm actually going to use 3 luck points to make it a what is it? What is the thing called? A critical success.
You mean
Actually,
a
it's only
1?
2 because I rolled a 3. So I only
Oh
need
my
to use
God.
2 to
So you
make it a
spend 2
critical
luck
success.
points to make it a critical success. Okay. Interesting. Gerard is going to be a very interesting person after this. So Lola is there.
That means he saves the girl, right?
Let's face it, kind of pestering Jerry. So we see Maurice going from decking his friend John to like taking care of him. Give me a first aid.
Oh, I know that one. That's 38.
Oh wow. Get one back, John. So
Yeah.
John, you are brought around with this very painful jaw.
You know what? Does having it be an extreme success, would that be helpful?
Yeah.
I'm going to spend 2 luck then.
Cool. Get back 3 points, John.
So 3 points in total.
Yeah.
Okay. Back up to 6
Awesome.
out of 10.
Awesome. So yeah, Maurice is as all this is happening, it's just chaos. There's rubble being thrown everywhere. There's a horrible squelching sound as like more matter than could possibly have fit in the bomb is crawling out. It's all just limbs and teeth and eyes, trying not to look at it. Something weird's going on with Jerry. Lola's just being, Jerry, come on, fix it. And John, you awaken to this with your head in Maurice's lap as he's like, tenderly taking care of you. You kind of prop yourself up to look as Jerry's eyes are fully rolled back in his head. And this just guttural, like throat-rending incantation starts to just tumble out of his mouth. It echoes, but not like in a room. It's like the world vibrates with these strange utterances. You can feel these waves of force pass over and through you. And everything just shifts. The tree that you used to swing on, Maurice, becomes this defleshed alien hand with a few dripping gobbets of gore on it. The landscape around you cracks, turns to glass, turns to the deepest ocean as you feel momentarily crushed and drowned. You don't know what it feels like to be in the void of space, but that's what you feel momentarily. There's no weight, there's no up and down, it's freezing, and yet there's this bright light that seems to sear your flesh. All of this happens in rapid succession, and every syllable of this strange incantation takes you to a different, horrifying place. And with the last one of these things just croaking out, you can see flecks of blood spraying from Jerry's throat as he damages himself, working this language magic into the world. Slams the book. And you all wake up. Jerry, you're in your dressing room. Lola, you took a nap. Like maybe last night you had to go see the family and are just like full on vapors from the emotional trauma. And you're thinking to yourself, if you were honest with yourself, you'd be thinking to yourself that you need a little bit of hit of adoration. And you're eyes glance over and see a playbill that you picked up at the market for some 2-bit magician. But knowing this town, everyone will be there, and maybe you should make an appearance. Maurice, John, it's a hot day. You had planned to go to the show afterward, and it's the end of a long week. You had completed a couple of overhauls, changed a bunch of tires, changed a bunch of oil, and the boss of the garage gave you leave at about 3. So you each wake up at about the same time. Windows open, the sound of the town filtering in, just from your nap on your couch or in your little cot bed, kind of getting refreshed and then thinking, oh yeah, I got to go meet John, or I got to go meet Maurice. Better spruce myself up. It's all good. Jerry, back with you. You're a little disoriented. You were having some strange dream. Like, it was terrible, but it wasn't a nightmare, because in that dream you were incredibly powerful. Like you understood something earth-shattering. And like you have a little bit of a headache from it, and or maybe it's a hangover from last night. But there's this like grasping for like, yeah, there was a lot of bad stuff, but there was something in that dream. If only I could remember it, because God, if I could remember that and write it down, it could be amazing. It's like practically magic. And then your eyes rest on the golden leather-bound tome on the dresser next to where you had fallen asleep. And as the camera closes down, we see Jerry's hand reach for the book. The end. So, hey, no one died. Or maybe you all died.
We're stuck in an infinite loop. Thanks, Jerry.
Great.
You're great.
Now we're in Groundhog's Day, bud.
Great going, Jerry.
You don't know who I am now, because I do have a question.
Yes.
About the sheet. When I changed my sanity stuff, the max sanity on that middle line where it's like beside temporary sanity, it put it at 22, even though
because it accounted for your sanity loss, I think.
Because I started at 60, and then you told me to take both of them down to 33, but it won't let me change that box.
Oh, who knows?
Okay.
It's some macro in the background. But your max sanity is reduced by the amount of Cthulhu mythos. And if Gerard makes a repeat performance, another command performance, we'll see what the lingering after effects of that would be. Hint, it's probably not staying with a 77 mythos score, but there's some effects. So, yeah. Who knows? Maybe you are stuck in an eternal loop of torture and terribleness. Or maybe it was just all a dream. Who knows? Cool. Well, that was fun for me.
It was great.
And John is definitely Maurice's lucky charm, because in this one, John almost died and you didn't.
Again.
Yeah.
But you did finally go irredeemably insane. So that's good.
That's this all carries over to the next one, despite this being a loop, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Good.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Being insane's fun.
Yeah.
So does that mean John wakes up with a slower jaw? Like, oh man.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get that checked.
And
bud.
Jerry's got a weird like pinched nerve in his back from falling asleep on the dressing table.
I don't think Maurice ever figured out Lola's name.
No. Lola never shared it.
Actually.
I mean, you remember her as that actress who was in a supporting role with that movie with a chimp.
The dancing chimp, yes.
Yeah.
Bonzo.
Yeah.
I know Bonzo's name.
Yeah. Oh, that famous movie, Brunch Time for Bonzo. And then there was Brunch Time for Bonzo 2, Pneumatic Boogaloo, and Brunch Time for Bonzo 3, This Time It's Personal. You liked all three. It was a 3-play one Sunday down in Fall River. So cool. Yay.
Hooray!
Everyone lived. You broke reality and then fixed it, sort of. Cool. Hey, well, let's do that thing where we say who everyone is, where they can find you, and then adios to our friends on YouTube. Let's start with, we started with Shank last time, so let's start with SJ this time.
I'm SJ or SJ_sidekick. I don't stream or anything. Usually you can find me on here, but I probably won't be around for a while. We'll see. That's pretty much it. Gobian.
I'm Govan or Govan88 on Twitch. I play Jerry. Depending on life situations, you may see me more, you may see me less. Trying to figure out outside stuff, but yeah. Over to Villain.
Hi, I'm your only villain or Vil. It just keeps getting shorter. I don't know why. But anyways, I play John. You can find me here on C+ content or over in Juice's chat. Yeah, Shanks.
Hello, I'm the Shanks Master General. I played Maurice Church, history's most violent. Sorry, I'm.
Quaker.
Quaker.
Society of Friends.
Quaker. Yes, sorry, Quaker. Wow, I completely blanked there. I only very occasionally stream on Twitch. Whenever I play Celeste, that's about it. But if you want to support me, you can go on Spotify and look up The Dreadnoughts. That's my band. Please enjoy. And I'm going to send you over to the Zero, our narrator. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. And I've been 00 Daylight Michael, narrator, GMDM, whatever, keeper of arcane lore in the system, which is very grandiose. Therefore, I love it. Yes, this has been another one of our run of loosely interconnected Cthulhu one-shot stories with recurring characters here in Lovecraft Country, Massachusetts. Yeah, it's Cthulhu, so everything just gets weirder and worse. So enjoy. And it is very easy to kill characters in Cthulhu. It is much more fun to keep them alive and watch them suffer. So you're welcome. Hey, well, this has been fun. Thanks everyone for dropping in, and the Banes and the Boons, and all that good stuff. And come and join us again. Thanks, Mish, for dropping in. The next game looks like it's on the 29th because I have to go to Atlanta next week. On the 29th, we'll be doing some more Cthulhu, I think, or maybe some Survive, our kind of horror movie genre tropey kind of game, or some other kind of drop-in game. So yeah, stay tuned. If you don't already, join us in the Discord at community.c+content.tv. If you're watching us on Twitch, you should go over to the YouTube, which is c+content.tv. And if you're on the YouTube and you don't watch us on the Twitch, go over to Twitch and find the C+ Content channel. So we're very easy to find. Come hang out with us again. And with that, let's say goodbye to our friends on YouTube, and then we'll come back here and find someone to rate to. So bye, YouTube.
Bye. Goodbye.